Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has confirmed nuclear talks with the US are scheduled for Friday in Muscat. This comes hours after reports suggested talks were falling apart due to disagreements about the format and the venue. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has stressed that any talks must address Iran's missile programs. Tensions between the countries remain high following Tehran's crackdown on nationwide protests last month. Earlier, the US President Donald Trump had threatened Iran with military action, now adding that Tehran's supreme leader should be very worried. Israel continues to pound Gaza, killing at least 24 people in its latest strikes. The IDF claims the attacks were in response to one of its officers being wounded by enemy gunfire. Despite an ongoing US-brokered truce moving to its second phase, the Gaza Strip continues to reel under violence, with Israel and Hamas accusing each other of breaching the agreement. The latest bloodshed follows Israel's partial reopening of the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, the only gateway to the Palestinian territory that does not pass through Israel. Colombian President Gustavo Petro questioned the relevance of multilateral institutions and called for global democratic reform. Addressing the Organization of American States Permanent Council in Washington, the Colombian leader criticized the United Nations for failing to prevent what he described as genocide in Gaza, stating its existence was being questioned due to its lack of power. Petro proposed dialogue between civilizations and global democracy as alternatives to weakened multilateral institutions, warning that humanity had limited time to address climate and social crises. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh as part of a Saudi Arabia, Qatar and UAE tour aimed at forging energy and arms partnership and reducing Europe's biggest economy's dependence on the United States and China. At the start of his three-day trip, Merz said the aim of such alliances was to preserve freedom, security and prosperity. The tour, which follows visits to Brazil and South Africa last year and India last month, is part of a broader German initiative to diversify global alliances. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan met Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Cairo, sealing a raft of new partnership deals and signaling a united front on regional crises in Iran, Sudan and Gaza. Relations between Cairo and Ankara have thawed after nearly a decade of estrangement following Sisi's removal of the Muslim Brotherhood-aligned President Mohammad Morsi in 2013. The relationship between both leaders deteriorated in the past, but since 2023 they have met a handful of times, exchanged visits, normalized ties and signed more than a dozen cooperation agreements, including on defense. US President Donald Trump said he had an excellent conversation with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He added that he was looking forward to his visit to the country in April. The call came just hours after Xi's virtual meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump said he and Xi had a long and thorough call discussing trade, military issues, Russia's war in Ukraine, Iran, airplane engines, deliveries, and China's purchases of US oil and gas. Trump also announced that China has agreed to boost import of American soybeans. Meanwhile, Xi voiced optimism in a call with Trump, saying he hopes to steer relations steadily forward through winds and storms and achieve progress. In a call with Trump, Xi Jinping has called Taiwan the most important issue in China-US relations. Xi had also reportedly told Trump to be prudent when supplying weapons to the island, adding that he attaches great importance to ties with Washington and hoped both sides will find ways to resolve their differences. Wednesday's call follows a flurry of visits by Western leaders, including UK's Keir Starmer, to China in recent months, with hopes to reset relations with the world's second largest economy. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told France 2 TV that the number of Ukrainian soldiers killed on the battlefield as a result of the country's war with Russia is estimated at 55,000. In a pre-recorded interview that was broadcast, Zelensky added that on top of that casualty figure was a large number of people considered officially missing. In an interview with US television network NBC in February 2025, Zelensky had said over 46,000 Ukrainian servicemen had been killed in the war. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned that the expiration of the New START treaty represents a grave moment for international peace and security. He urged US and Russia to quickly renew the New START nuclear treaty, which expires today, warning that expiration of the treaty leaves both nations without binding nuclear limits, posing risks to global peace and security. The New START treaty, formerly known as the Treaty on Measures for the Further Reduction and Limitation of Strategic Offensive Arms, was signed in 2010 and entered into force the following year. A giant mushroom cloud erupted over a railway station in Russia in the aftermath of a fiery blast. Eyewitnesses in the area captured the dramatic fireball near the Kochetovka 2 railway station and posted the dramatic footage on social media. Russia's Ministry of Emergencies told the state news agency that a number of train tank cars had caught fire, causing delays to passenger train travel. It confirmed that several firefighting trains had been sent to the area to tackle the blaze. US First Lady Melania Trump met freed Israeli-American hostages Keith and Aviva Siegel at the White House. Aviva Siegel, held hostage in Gaza for 51 days after being captured by Hamas on October 7, 2023. Her husband, Keith Siegel, was held for 484 days. According to the First Lady, Aviva had previously contacted her after her release, and the two met in New York in January 2025. Trump said the encounter was filmed and appears in her new movie, Melania. Keith Siegel thanked Melania and President Trump for their support, while Aviva said the meeting gave her hope. US President Donald Trump has suggested a softer touch on immigration after 2 US citizens were killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. The Trump administration has said about 700 federal officers will be pulled from Minnesota, but mass deportations will continue. Trump's border Caesar, Tom Homan, clarified that 2,000 agents will still remain in the state. In another interview, he vowed that removal of undocumented migrants would continue. Meanwhile, a group of educators and school districts in Minnesota filed a lawsuit to block federal immigration enforcement near school zones. The parties say that ICE activity is disrupting students' right to education. Venezuelan Interior, Justice and Peace Minister Diosdado Cabello led a march in Maracay, Aragua state to commemorate the 34th anniversary of the 1992 civilian-military rebellion. Hundreds of supporters gathered in front of a stage at the end of the march celebrating National Dignity Day. Cabello highlighted the people's loyalty to the Bolivarian Revolution 1 month after Nicolas Maduro was captured in a US military operation. Cabello expressed confidence that President Nicolas Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores would soon return to public events, describing this as the government's main task. Bangladesh is gearing up for elections next week. It is shaping up to be a pivotal moment in the country's history, with the Awami League banned from participating and BNP and Jamaat gaining traction. The International Crisis Group has highlighted uncertainty surrounding the polls, including concerns about the process's credibility and the risk of violence. The group noted that predicting the outcome of the 12th February polls is challenging, referring to the 2008 elections in which the Awami League won 50% of the popular vote. The group said that despite the party's decline since then, it still has millions of supporters nationwide. Which party they vote for will have a major bearing on the results. Nepal's Election Commission inked a deal with social media platform TikTok to create a clean digital environment during the upcoming general election. Election Commission Joint Secretary and spokesperson and Head of Public Policy and Government Relations at TikTok exchanged the MOU in Kathmandu in the presence of Acting Chief Election Commissioner Ram Prasad Bhandari. Activities are underway in a planned manner to prevent possible misuse of technology targeting the March 5th election. The Washington Post announced that it has laid off more than 300 journalists amid an unprecedented global crisis. The layoffs will cut roughly 30% of the paper's workforce. It targets reporters from Asia and West Asia, eliminating bureau chiefs, regional editors, and nearly all on-the-ground correspondents across the two regions. Journalists say the cuts effectively end the paper's ability to report independently from much of the global south. Four white rhinos at Zoo Knoxville stepped out for a snowy stroll as a powerful storm system brought wintry weather to parts of the southeastern United States. As snow lingers on the ground across Tennessee, the rhinos get a chance to walk around in the powdery white snow. Cubans pulled on light jackets, scarves and woolens as an unusual cold snap swept through the island, sending residents to bundle up on city streets. Winter wear replaced t-shirts in many parts. Cuba's Institute of Meteorology says 0-degree temperature was officially registered, in a first for the country. Pedestrians and pets huddled in jackets, scarves and caps, bracing against the unexpected chill. Floodwaters surged through towns in southern Spain as Storm Leo hit southern Spain's Andalusia, where residents barricaded their homes. The new weather pounded the Iberian Peninsula just a week after Storm Kristin left 6 people dead and thousands without power. In some buildings, floodwaters came halfway up the ground floor and overflowing rivers gushed past residents, many of whom lost power and fear the situation will get worse. In Andalusia, 14 rivers and 10 dams were at extreme risk of overflowing, compounded by saturated ground from earlier storms this month. Italy's Air Force Meteorological Service said spectators gathering in Milan's iconic San Siro Stadium for 5 days Winter Olympics opening ceremony can leave their umbrellas at home. This after it forecasted a welcome break in the rain that has drenched the city for days. Forecasters say the weather pattern that has brought persistent heavy showers to northern Italy is set to ease just in time for the global event, which will also be staged in co-host Cortina, marking the first widespread ceremony in the history of the Games. Cortina, a town nestled among the jagged limestone peaks of the Dolomites, is also expected to see a gradual improvement. The Winter Games, scheduled from February 6 to 22, will see competition staged across 5 provinces along the Alps. Asian markets mostly fell as a renewed tech sell-off on Wall Street weighed on sentiment. US chip stocks led losses overnight. Cryptocurrencies also retreated, with Bitcoin slipping more than 3%. In Asia, South Korea's Kospi tumbled over 2%. Japan's Nikkei edged lower, while Japan's Topix bucked the trend, hitting a record high. Hong Kong and mainland China stocks declined, and Australia slipped slightly. Oil prices fell Thursday after the US and Iran confirmed they will hold talks in Oman, easing immediate fears of a military conflict that could disrupt Middle East oil supplies. Brent crude slipped about 1.4% to around $68 a barrel. Markets had surged a day earlier on reports the talks might collapse, but prices reversed as officials said discussions would proceed. Analysts say uncertainty around the negotiations is driving volatility. Despite the talks, risks remain, with concerns over potential US action against Iran and threats to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Coal prices climbed more than 1% on Thursday, hovering near one-week highs as geopolitical uncertainty and soft US economic data boosted demand for safe haven assets. Spot gold rose to just over $5,016 an ounce. Support came from weaker US private payrolls, strengthening expectations for future Federal Reserve rate cuts. President Trump also signaled confidence that interest rates will be lowered, adding to market focus on Fed policy. Geopolitical tensions remain in play, with the US and Iran set for talks in Oman despite disagreements over their scope. Other precious metals rallied as well. Silver jumped over 2%, platinum gained more than 2%, and palladium edged higher. The dollar steadied in early Asian trading as investors looked ahead to key interest rate decisions from the European Central Bank and the Bank of England. Both expected to keep rates unchanged. The dollar index edged higher, holding near a 2-week high. The euro was flat ahead of the ECB announcement, with markets focused on guidance for future rate cuts, while sterling was steady before the Bank of England decision. The dollar also held firm against the yen as Japan's election campaign enters its final days. Recent dollar strength comes as global markets turn risk-off, with US tech stocks sliding and investors reassessing earnings and AI spending. Meanwhile, the Australian and New Zealand dollars ticked higher. Amazon MGM Studios is developing AI tools to streamline film and TV production, cutting costs and speeding up creativity. The AI studio, led by veteran executive Albert Cheng, will launch a closed beta in March for industry partners to test the technology. According to Amazon, AI will assist writers, directors, actors, and designers, not replace human creativity, despite Hollywood's concerns. The tools aim to improve character consistency, integrate with creative software, and address challenges in large-scale production. Lawmakers Waymo and Tesla are urging Congress to pass long-delayed rules for self-driving vehicles. The Senate Commerce Committee is holding a hearing to discuss removing obstacles for robot access and fully autonomous cars. Officials warn China is racing ahead in autonomous vehicle technology, putting US leadership at risk. Waymo and Tesla say updated regulations are needed so American companies can innovate and lead the global market. Senators stressed that without action, the US could fall behind in a $1 trillion autonomous vehicle industry. Social media firm TikTok is extremely cooperative with the European Commission investigation into 2024 Romanian election interference. Commission spokesperson Thomas Rainier said TikTok has taken a number of measures to engage with the EU. In December 2024, the European Union opened formal proceedings against TikTok for alleged failure to limit election interference during the Romanian presidential vote. Rainier added that the company's cooperation shows it is willing to work closely with the Commission. China Media Group unveiled some of the highlights of its much-anticipated 2026 Spring Festival, including officially announcing its lineup of hosts and revealing more about the technological innovations used to create this year's grand show. Recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's most watched TV program, the hours-long entertainment extravaganza will again feature a variety of colorful performances and be broadcast on the eve of the Chinese New Year on February 17th, ushering in the Year of the Horse. This year's gala will feature a range of sci-fi tech innovations, adding a new dimension to the long-running television spectacle. Manchester City defeated Newcastle United 5-1 on aggregate to reach their first EFL Cup final since 2021. Pep Guardiola's side were already in pole position after winning the first leg of the semi-final 2-0, and they finished the job in ruthless fashion at the Etihad Stadium. Omar Marmoush scored twice before Tiani Reindeers sealed the tie. Anthony Elanga pulled one back for Newcastle. City will face Arsenal for the title. India pulled off a record chase to beat Afghanistan by 7 wickets in the men's Under-19 World Cup semi-final. The men in blue will face England in the title clash. Afghanistan posted 310 for 4 after centuries from Faisal Khan and Uzairullah Niazai, but the five-time winners chased down a record 311 with more than 8 overs to spare. Aaron George scored 115, 14-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi hit a rapid 68, and captain Ayush Matre added a half-century as India reached their 10th final of the men's Under-19 World Cup. World number 4 Alexander Zverev has become the latest player to withdraw from the Rotterdam Open. The 28-year-old German is dealing with recurring ankle problems and has been advised by his physio to fully recover before returning to action. The German last competed in Rotterdam in 2023. Earlier this week, Carlos Alcaraz also withdrew from the ATP 500 tournament, opting to recover after a taxing Australian Open campaign. That's it on this edition of Speed News. News and updates will continue on the other side of this short break. Keep watching WION World is One.